Hey, folks, welcome back. Monroe County Sheriff Todd Baxter, Rochester, New York, behind the badge. This is a quick hit with our friend Sean Fecal from AP Enterprise. Been pushing snow for 35 years, Sean, and that's what we're going to talk about today, our weather conditions and driving and what folks like you do to help keep us safe. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Thanks for having me.
I think a great quick story about you is you started, I think, on Lake Avenue with one truck with a snowplow in the front of it, and everybody telling you this will never work. You're not going to be in business.
Yeah,
35 years later.
$1,700 pickup truck, and I was always told, "What'd you buy a plow truck for, Sean? You're never going to make a dime in that business." And
Right. God bless.
35 years later,
35
that's all the ambition I needed.
Yeah, and the intent behind this podcast today is just make people aware of what you're doing as an operator and what your staff is doing and what they're trying to do to keep the public safe. And then other things you found across the 35 years that can keep us, as the public, more informed of what we should be doing during these adverse weather conditions.
Absolutely.
I was driving in today. It was snowing first thing this morning, and then there was ice on my windshield. It was hard to keep the ice off. This is Rochester. It's Rochester.
This is
Let's talk about driving conditions first. So you've been out there, if you will, working in this business, working in this field for 35 years. We could say slow down, use caution, leave early. But, as you think about your 35 years of experience, what can we do to be better in this environment as far as safety of our individual people, our family, and ourselves, but also help you guys out as you're trying to do your job and keep the public safe?
Sure. So, there's only so much preparation you can do for especially the temperatures that we've been having.
Yeah.
With icy, snow-covered roads, those conditions, obviously, like you said, slow down, leave a little bit early for work.
Right.
You're coming up to a stop sign, start braking way before you normally do, those kind of things. The challenges we've been having this past year, the temperatures, salt loses its effectiveness at under 25 degrees.
25, that quick, huh?
Yeah, and then it ends up going down to zero effectiveness. We start applying salt strictly for traction, in most cases. From January 23rd to February 8th, we've had 17 consecutive days where the lows were below 10.
Wow.
That's the third longest in history.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
good trivia. Wow.
This has been
bad trivia.
Yeah, this has been challenging to say the least. As far as we have kind of a joint effort with the municipalities.
Right.
We're all out trying to do the same thing. We're all out trying to make the road safe. We're all trying to get you where you need to go. And this past year we had the couple, the snow emergencies, and
right.
People were still out traveling,
Yeah.
and I get it. They have to get to where they got to go, but also you got to give us some room. You have to be careful of your surroundings.
Right.
We're in those parking lots with 40,000-pound machines, and we're trying to work with you. We're not working against you.
Right.
All we want to do is get you where you need to go safe.
Right.
Just help us out a little bit.
And that's distance, that's time, that's give you the space to do your work in these massive machines.
100%.
And you mentioned municipalities. They're cleaning the roads and the thoroughfares, but when you get to the hospital, that's folks like you. When you get to the grocery store, that's folks like you.
Correct.
So you're working in conjunction with municipalities to keep these thoroughfares open. And we need to give you space. I mean, that's all you can ask for is space and time to get your job done, right?
That's all. Yeah, we want everyone to be safe. And remember, we're out in elements that nobody wants to be out in. We're out in elements that visibility's low, the wind's blowing the snow off the roofs. We can't see very well.
Right.
And don't always, we try to make eye contact with vehicles in parking lots and whatnot. We just be conscious that sometimes they can't see you when they're backing up. I mean, they're in large pieces of equipment, pickup trucks, loaders, whatever it may be.
They're out there because it's adverse weather.
That's it.
I think the best way to put it is if we just see your vehicle with a plow on it with a bright flashing light, we should assume you can't see us.
Right.
I mean, let's just keep it that simple.
Correct.
You can't see us, so let's be proactive and get out of your way, give you the space, give you the time to do your job, and then we can, open those thoroughfares and open those parking lots to get back to normal business.
And we've seen throughout the years, and we often make the joke on our two-way radio that the whole parking lot's clean and you have one swipe left, and that's where everyone parks.
Everybody
parks in that one spot. So if you see
great advice.
If you see
great advice.
80% of a parking lot plowed,
Feel free to use that.
Yeah, please don't park in the areas that are not plowed.
That's good. I never thought about that.
We're just trying to get it clean to
Right.
make sure you guys are safe when you get out of your car.
Yeah.
But it's a struggle. Like I said, if you see our equipment moving or anybody's equipment moving, just try to stay on the other. We don't expect you to walk 2 miles to get
Right.
inside the building. Just try to stay on the other side.
You know, Sean, you mentioned salt and the adverse effects that cold weather have on it, but what about the supply chain? I mean, we've always had last year we had a problem with the supply chain. How's it been this year? Especially with, you've been putting a lot of salt down.
It's definitely a challenge.
Yeah?
Again? Yes, there's been a salt shortage for quite some time. My opinion is we're going to see salt shortages every year for the rest of our life.
Oh, really?
And the reason that is, I mean, we live in New York State.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of liability, a lot of slip and falls. We have adverse weather that the conditions aren't perfect, and more and more there's with the liability issue, there's so many more parking lots, plazas, individual shops using salt,
Dumping salt that never would have done traditionally.
Right, because now
interesting.
with the liability we have,
Yeah.
liability
So it's
issues.
not so much the supply, or maybe it's the supply also, but there's a much more demand for it.
Way bigger demand
interesting.
for
I
it.
didn't know
So,
that.
you know, I think it's a little bit of both.
That's awesome.
But definitely the demand is increased enormously.
So we wanted to show a couple of these videos, get someone like Sean on the podcast, just talk about, you know, look at that exit ramp, slow down, take your time getting off that exit ramp. We don't know what's around that corner. It could be an emergency vehicle with a car in the snowbank. It could be a snowplow trying to do their job and do a K-turn. Who knows, but let's slow down.
That picture there also, when you saw that snowplow going by, he is doing a wind roll. Okay, so he is actually, there might be a little bit more snow on the exit because they haven't got to the exit yet.
Gotcha.
So, you know, use caution that, yeah, you're driving on a clear lane, but when you go to get off of that
That has
exit,
not.
that snow had wind rolled. They haven't got to that part yet, and you may be driving through a lot thicker snow.
There you go. Trivial Pursuit this weekend.
Yes.
Wind roll. I got
Wind
one.
roll,
So
you
that's
got one.
awesome.
Right.
Sean, thanks for joining us. Thanks
No
for
problem.
sharing a little bit of what you do for a business. Thanks for keeping the public safe. And
Thank you for
being, you work in conjunction with the rest of us and first responders when the snow's falling. And
Yep.
it's great to have you as backup, working with our municipalities. And I appreciate
This
it.
is awesome. I'm glad I had the opportunity to come on and speak a little bit about it because it's good to get it off my chest. But thank you to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office and all the first responders who are out there, helping the stranded vehicles. It's dangerous. Please, everyone, use caution for everybody, not just snowplow people, but our first responders.
Yeah, we showed, not to make this podcast longer, it's supposed to be the producers are yelling at me, but we showed you guys off to Buffalo, during the blizzard in Buffalo and trying to recover and help people there. And it can be dangerous, right? And it's very dangerous. We bought a couple extra snowmobiles and some ATVs, tracked vehicles here in Rochester just to hopefully get the people, if ever get that environment. But let's keep the thoroughfares open. So in other words, stay off. And when there's a travel advisory, stay off.
That's it. And we're all working together.
Absolutely.
We just want everyone
Give
to be
us
safe.
12 hours,
That's it.
hunker down, and we can
not-
clear almost anything out.
It's not a us first situation. It's
Right.
it's everybody's first. Let's just do this together and be safe.
Perfect. Sean, thanks. Appreciate
No problem. Thank you, Sheriff. Thanks for having me.
it. Absolutely. Till next week, folks. Be safe. God
Thank
bless.
you.